Okay, is this people that are joining popping up?
Yep, we're good to go. Now, hello, it's Adaire Palmer here. Welcome to My Time TV's TV for you by TV from me, where people in the community who are doing amazing things to add value to the lives of people around them. It could be meditation, yoga class, gardening, learning to cook, anything like that. Topics are going to be covered here. Tonight we have got a couple of amazing women here. We've got Janet and Bev. Welcome to both.
Thank you.
By way of introduction, Janet is a leading expert on weight loss and has a unique approach to dieting. Her philosophy is you need to use your mind to change your body. And what she means by that is if you don't permanently change how you think and feel about what, when, or why you eat, you can't permanently change your eating habits. Now, this is a topic of interest to many, many people I know.
Yep.
You won't succeed in losing the weight for good. In fact, you're more likely to diet yourself fatter. Now, who wants to do that?
Yep.
Like, seriously. Janet's a best-selling author of 6 books and the #1 fitness DVD, initially working as a lecturer in university college training fitness instructors, but later went on to expand her skill set by training and qualifying in a variety of psychological therapies to add to her nutrition nutrition and exercise science. So if I get any of this wrong, please correct me. Please let me know. And Janet takes a multifaceted, holistic approach, and this has formed what is now known as the Placebo Diet, and it's such a unique and effective program. It really does reach parts that other diets just don't reach. Now, what I'd like to do also is just to introduce Bev. Bev was with us. Was it last night or the night before? Oh, my Lord, it seems like time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
Bev was, since her school days, she's always wanted to help people, but it wasn't until she's discovered hypnosis that she found what she was looking for. And from her first discovery of hypnosis, she was hooked and has spent the last few years seeking out the best people in the industry to train with. She's trained with a variety of different intervention models and combined them all to provide a dynamic and effective approach to her clients. She is proud to be an accredited trainer and teaching hypnosis worldwide. She is now on a lifelong quest to learn as much as she can to help others make the change that they need in their lives. And I can absolutely resonate with that really, really well, Bev, because I'm in the same position, and I was so fascinated when I heard that you've got this thing called the Placebo Diet, and you and Janet are coming to Australia to train in. So Bev's going to be busy for the next few weeks, I think. Before we get into it, I'd really like to just acknowledge we've had some people waiting here while we've been sorting out the technical issues. We've got some people here. I've actually got my let me see if I can show you that. It's a bit I'm streaming live to my personal profile. So hello to people who have joined me on my personal profile. Come over to My Time TV and join us in the conversation. That would be awesome. And we've got in the conversation here, we've got Shirley, who's going, hello. She's been here standing by and waiting patiently while we were sorting out the technical difficulties. Wayne Hennessy is here. Wayne was here for the other live we did with Graham and Bev. So hi, Wayne. Thank you for coming back and joining us again. And I'm just thinking we've got a couple of others here as well. Theone from everybody's other favourite G&T. Theone's here, and I think we had a Matthew as well. Matthew, hello Matthew, how are you going? He's saying good morning, ladies. So I'm imagining that Matthew is in the UK as well. So would I be correct in that you know Matthew? Yes. So welcome to you all, and welcome to other people who are popping in to share this broadcast with us. I'm really, really interested in hearing what it is about the placebo diet. But first, I'd just like to ask you, Janet, And then, Bev, if you could just give us a little bit of an idea of the sorts of things that you've done that's brought you to this point. So how did you get fascinated in this? Yeah.
Well, I started off like a lot of people who run weight loss programs in the traditional way, doing nutrition and exercise science, you know, and which is what my master's degree is in. And in the UK, I was head of training for a national slimming club. And then I went on to open my own health clubs. And I did a lot of work developing super simple programs that were easy to follow. And when people followed them, it worked really well. In fact, the nutrition system in the placebo diet is more of a structure than a diet. It's a color code system. And that involves, and obviously I update it all the time in line with current research, but it's based on the principles that I developed years ago, because actually there is nothing new generically when we look at the foods we eat. If we take food from the soil that's been unadulterated, unprocessed, don't put loads of refined sugar in our body, you know, our body responds in a way that's very grateful, and that it looks and feels how we want it to look. So I had all these great, you know, this color code system and everything was going great. But quite often people would say, you know, I know what to do and I know it should be easy, but I just can't sort my head out. I just can't walk past the vending machine without going for that Snickers. You know, I just can't have those 2 sugars in my coffee. So knowing what to do is not enough. I need to sort my head out.
Yeah.
So
How many people can relate to that? I'm just really curious as to how many people that are watching this actually can relate to it, because as a trained hypnotherapist myself, I know that you still get that. Should have the well, should's a bad word anyway, but you go, well, I know I've got I've got the mind thing to do this, but without actually that external help. So give us some love, or give us some likes if you can relate to that, because I know I certainly can. That would be awesome. So who else can't help? If you want to confess, walking past a vending machine, how hard is that for you? So yeah. So sorry, go on.
That's okay. It's easy to do it when it's easy to do it. So when the going's good, you're not having a stressful day, you're in a great mood, everything's going fine, you can walk past that vending machine. But when you get a little bit stressed or you get a little bit emotional, your brain will revert to that old reward system, and it won't ever go in and reevaluate the reward and think, oh, well, you know, when I was a child, every time I fell over, my mum gave me a biscuit, and that's how you made that neurological connection. You know, in here, those neurons were joined together, that when you want to feel better, you reach for something sweet. And of course, your brain, being creative, thinks, oh, well, okay, well, my mum gave me a biscuit. Well, a chocolate's sweet, maybe that'll work. An ice cream sweet, maybe that'll work. And so it adds to that. It builds that from that one little brick. It builds a whole wall, a big foundation-based system within your mind. Well, that's fine. If you feel good and everything's going great, you don't need a reward because you feel good anyway. The problems happen when you start to feel a little bit stressed, or things aren't going so well, or you're emotional upset. You know, we only have to watch the Bridget Jones rom-com type movies and Sex in the City and all of the other things to think that we're conditioned that any bit of drama whatsoever, and, you know, Haagen-Dazs is the answer, or more red wine, or, you know, go and buy chocolate or whatever. So it is part of a conditioning. So when you're in those situations, if you are a bit stressed, your brain will use that as a go-to pattern. And unless you change that pattern, then that is always going to be the case. And then we're in the whole mindset of willpower, which for me isn't a thing. You know, willpower doesn't exist unless you tell yourself it does. So if you say to yourself, well, you know, it's just been Christmas and I've got all these pots of Quality Street, and if only I had the willpower, I wouldn't be able, you know, I'd be able to resist. I wouldn't just reach for one after the other after the other. So if you then tell yourself, and those of you that have done NLP will understand the phrase nominalization. Nominalization is when you create something and make it a thing, even if it doesn't exist. So in other words, if you think it exists, it does. So if you think, well, I need willpower, all you've got to do is say to yourself, oh, I've lost my willpower. And then, hey, presto, it's like barn doors open and all the Quality Streets are gone in no time. So what we want to do is to be able to teach people some of the amazing techniques. And the first thing I trained in was clinical hypnotherapy. And without a doubt, that is immensely powerful when it comes to changing how you think and feel. And in fact, in the Placebo Diet at Home online programs, one of which we're giving away as prize, with each of the little videos, you get a guided meditation. So that's a big part of the program. But throughout the book and the trainings and the workshops and everything, a big part of it is teaching you how to self-hypnotize. And in fact, actually, you know what? It's more about unhypnotizing yourself. Because if you've been hypnotized as a child into thinking, well, a biscuit will make me feel better, and then, you know, as an adult and you can't get in your clothes and you're feeling miserable and you've got no self-confidence and you don't know what to wear, then that actually isn't making you feel better anymore. So you have to unhypnotize yourself. You have to step into the new reality, the reality where you are now. So hypnosis and self-hypnosis is one of the things we teach, and we use the power of visualization to do that. We use a lot of NLP-based techniques. How you speak to yourself is so important. And of course, we mentioned this, and I know you've looked at a couple of my other tapping videos, Adaire, anyway. And TFT is a really simple, easy to use technique that people can actually do anytime in the moment to collapse the craving or to stop self-sabotage. So we have the technology to change how we think and feel. Actually, not just about food, but about anything. But in this context, it's about changing our relationship with food. And when you do that, you're empowered for life. None of this, I've been on a diet for 8 weeks and I've lost 8 pounds. That's it. You just change for life, and your body will just heave a huge sigh of relief and reward you with a vitality, with an energy, not to mention a size and shape that you deserve.
I love what Theone said. She goes, we need a nodding emoji. I'm sitting here nodding like a bobblehead on the parcel shelf of a car.
Thank you. But it's true, it's not rocket science. You know, for me, it's been, you know, I think of weight loss now. I always used to think, you know, nutrition and exercise. But actually, really, it's a holy trinity. Those two things are important, but probably the most important is the mindset. And when you have all three, for me, that's the holy trinity of weight loss. And that's when you change for good.
Yeah. And I think it is the way for a lot of things, weight loss or any change that you want to make in your life. And I think you mentioned it earlier, is that it all starts with the mindset.
For sure.
And keeping that mindset and keeping it, making it the new mindset. I remember watching one of the videos you were talking about carving the new neural pathways and creating new patterns of thought. And I'm fascinated by that, because I think we often think that we're helpless to make any changes because we are sort of stuck with what we're stuck with.
Yeah, exactly. And years ago, people thought, you know, I'm sure you've all heard the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And it was thought up until a decade or two ago that our brains, once they were formed, if you like, were quite fixed. But actually, that's not the case. Your brain is more plastic than you can possibly imagine. And you can change the structure. You know, if you develop a limp, all the bone cells within that bone will start to form to support a new direction of stress from the bone. So your body is designed to adapt to whatever you're doing to it. And so what happens with the brain is, if you think of a neurological pathway, like stepping across a meadow and putting footprints in that meadow, and then the next time you go to walk across it, it's easier. And before long, you've walked backwards and forwards across the meadow. No grass grows. That's the go-to path. And it's completely set, but it's not set in stone. And if you didn't walk on that pathway for long enough, the grass would grow again and you can create a new pathway. And your brain is exactly the same. It's very, very plastic. I mean, there are things to consider, don't get me wrong. Neurological maps or pathways are very competitive, and if they're not used, they nudge you and go, oi, you haven't used me for a while, and that's part of what a craving is. But with the kind of technology and all the different techniques that we use in the Placebo Diet program, the tapping, the self-hypnosis, the linguistics, the NLP, many different things, and some that Bev and I have created ourselves, to make this program just an absolute toolbox where you can reach in and choose from any number of tools to change how you think and feel.
Yeah, I love that, what you're saying about I've got some feedback here. How's it for you on your end?
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
Okay, Bev, how's it going for you? That's all right. I think it's good now.
Yeah,
Cool.
cleared now.
Good.
I thought you meant
Roy is
feedback, as
saying,
in people were typing what they're saying.
no, well, we've got that too. We've got people that are engaging and typing in, and I'm getting it twice when I speak. So
Okay.
I'll just turn it down a little bit and see if that works a bit better. Roy is saying a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset.
Yeah.
And Theone saying yes, can hear it echoed from me now. So you get it twice, you lucky girl, you. I just wanted to mention that Janet did say earlier that no, it's okay now. All right. We are having a draw at the end for people who want to stay for the next 10 or so minutes. We are having a draw for a package. It's a gold package for the Placebo Diet online. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, and then we can talk about the techniques that you and Bev have developed to combat some of the cravings, because that's something I'm really fascinated in. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, it started with the book, the Placebo Diet book, which you can get on Kindle and in pretty much most countries. Goes through the programming techniques, but for some people, and I include myself in that, I'm very visual. I'm quite interactive. I like to see and hear what I do. So of course we've got the workshops and the retreats, but to make it accessible to anybody, what we did was create this online program. So you get set for 7 weeks, you get a little short 15-minute video, which is each week you're learning one way that you can change your brain. So this is how your brain does this, and this is how you can change it. And then there's a little supplementary video with the technique for that week, plus a guided meditation. So you get those 7 stages plus a bonus lesson of a variety of different exercises to literally help you change your brain. You also, of course, get the color code system, which is really to give you a structure to be able to choose the foods that best serve you. Say, listen, this is not a strict diet in any shape or form. Slim people eat chocolate sometimes, but they're the ones that can walk past the vending machine and choose whether to have it or not be compelled to have it. So if that's the kind of empowered approach that you want, then the techniques in the online program will teach you that. Once those 7 weeks are up, for another 20 weeks, you get sent something every day, kind of in the format of a blog, but each week there's a different exercise, something to do to support what you've done over those 7 weeks. And obviously through our private members Facebook group with the Placebo Diet, there's recipes, there's tips. So it's a real big community. So it's like having us in your home as personal trainers coming through your video, your laptop, your iPhone, whatever, with the lessons, with the guided meditations, with the weekly bullets. So it's pretty damn good, if I say so myself.
That is excellent. I'm really excited for whoever gets this, and I can hear that the reverb is back again, which I'm not quite sure whether that's my end. I think if I can hear it, it's actually at someone else's end. Shirley's saying workaholic and not eat is a problem. That's never been a problem for me, Shirley, but I'm sure that I'm sure that there are some...
to be a workaholic, you need to eat. Or most of the neurons for your brain are made in your gut. If you want to use your brain, you really need to put the right stuff in your gut.
And I think that the idea of sitting at your desk like a gamer in their jots, just 24 hours with just Red Bull and coffees, that I don't think for us in this day and age just doesn't really cut it. And I find that I don't function very well if I don't.
No.
Here's Roy. He's totally. I love it when Roy hijacks our conversations. Roy has got he started the net friending move. He started the net friending movement, so shout out to Roy in April. Yes, I'd rather be a workaholic too, because if it's not fun, it won't be done. But there we go. But I absolutely agree with you. Having a good diet is essential if you're wanting to be, particularly if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, and that's a lot of the people that I deal with are entrepreneurs who want to have their own businesses, and if you're not looking after yourself more than losing weight. It's about having the energy. It's about being healthy. It's about having clarity of thought. But we'll get back to those carb cravings, because I know that I was at, here's confession time. I might get Hail Marys for this, but I was a part of the Rotary Club here in my local town, or my local suburb, and they gave us, some smart, bright spark, decided that they were going to get the boxes of the 50 chocolate frogs for members to sell. And of course, it's okay if you've got an outlet where people can, you know, sort of come in, or you send them to school with your kids or whatever, put them on your shop front counter. But when you work from home and you've got them sitting in the cupboard behind you, and it's almost like they sort of every few seconds they reach out and they go, I mean, there you, and they go. So we're up for a few bucks anyway, because so if there's a way that we can do something about that to that's a curb the cravings, I think I would love to hear about that.
Well, there's several.
God, I'd just love to hear get some love from the people like watching. Come on, give us some encouragement, because this is interactive, and I love to see, you know, people sort of joining in. And if you have any questions for Janet or Bev, please throw them up as well. We will attempt to answer them. We'll attempt to answer those as well. So, back over to you, Janet.
Well, I think in terms of inspiration, it would be good if Bev jumped in here and talked about how she's changed her mindset and how much weight she's lost, because she really is an inspiration. So, Bev, why don't you share a bit about how amazing you've found the transformations that you created?
Yeah, so I mean, weight loss is a huge passion for me, because I have my own experience and journey through weight loss. So as a child, you know, I was overweight right from childhood, just because that was the environment in which I was brought up, in which you know, my parents showed me love through giving me food, and you know, it was a big part of our family environment. So I grew up with unhealthy relationships with food, and all through my childhood and, you know, into my early adult life, I struggled with weight. And, you know, it got to the point I was even, it was whilst I was in high school, so I must have only been maybe 15. I remember ordering weight loss pills off the internet, because I was so desperately unhappy with the way that I was. And you know, and that behaviour kind of continued into adulthood, and I tried every diet, basically just, you know, that typical yo-yo dieting response. I would lose a bit, I would gain more, but I was never happy in myself. And you know, it was probably about 5 years ago now that I finally got to the point, it was after having my second child, that I realised I needed to change this for them, because I didn't want them growing up and having those, you know, those feelings and those, you know, issues within school, because I was bullied in school because of my weight, and I knew I needed to do it for them. So I found an exercise program that worked for me, and you know, just really worked through changing the way that I ate, changing the way that I exercised, and I found something that worked for me. And it was, I think, about 2 years ago now that I met Janet, and obviously through you know, what then sort of learning sort of hypnosis, and I realized how powerful, you know, the mindset is. And looking back, I can see all of the things that I did wrong, and the thing that was missing in all of the weight loss things that I tried was they either addressed the food alone or they addressed the exercise. None of them combined the whole package, including the mindset behind it. And I could see that's where, you know, what was missing. And when I met Janet and found out about the placebo diet, it was like, you know, somebody had answered my prayers. You know, finally there was a program that addressed, you know, the core aspect, the key element of successful weight loss, which is the mindset. because, you know, looking at the science, you know, take the mind out of it and emotions away from it. Everybody can lose weight. It's simply finding the right balance of nutrients for your body. And I think one of the unhealthiest, most dangerous things or myths that are around weight loss is that it is simply calories in versus calories out. You know, that is such a dangerous concept, because it is far more complex than that. And unfortunately, you know, we all have one of these. And once we've got those associations and emotional aspects with regards to weight loss, that's when it becomes more difficult. And this is where the placebo diet really excels, because it addresses that first. And you cannot change your body without changing your mind first.
That's brilliant. I love it. And I love your story. It really is so personal to you. And that's why I've got this reverb again. I'm hoping it will go. Seems to have gone now. So doing that, and you said in your intro, your bio, that you're really keen to help other people. So have you decided, Bev, to do? I know you're working with Graham for the kinetic shift, and now you're working with Janet as well for the placebo diet. I think it's excellent, because you've got a really broad range of tools in your toolkit, and so being through it yourself is a really strong motivator, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And, you know, and I get it. I really do get, you know, the mindset behind it. You know, I was one of those people that thought I'm just always going to be fat. I'm always going to be overweight. It's my bone structure. It's in my genes. It's just, you know, all these excuses that I would make about why I couldn't lose the weight. Yet then I would have those moments where I would have to be going to a wedding or a party, and I would try on everything in my wardrobe and end up in a heap of tears on the floor because I hated what I saw in the mirror. Yet I couldn't get to the point where that almost hate that I had for myself was not enough to change the way that I ate, or, you know, I couldn't get the two to connect as to why, and as much as I wanted to change, I couldn't. You know, I'd do a diet for a few weeks, I'd be really good, but then as soon as something emotional happened, I would go straight back for, you know, for the comfort eating and the food and the overeating. Yeah. And unless you address that, unless you have the ways in which to change that neurology in your brain, you know, you're always going to revert back, just like Janet said, to those old patterns. And I've been through that, and I get it. And, you know, what I love about, you know, what Janet's put together with the placebo diet is there are so many techniques, and even just the realization of understanding how the brain works and the neurological maps that are in your brain, and actually how quickly they can change. And, you know, part of the placebo diet program is actually giving you exercises and demonstrating how quickly something can go from being really different and perceived difficult to actually becoming something that's quite natural and happens easily. And I think once you get that realization of how quickly your brain can change, the body quickly catches up.
Yeah. That's brilliant. It gives hope to so many people who are stuck on that roundabout, that merry-go-round. Really, it's
I think if I can just jump in, is that all right if I just make one comment here, Adaire? You know, when people are trying to lose weight, let's say you want to tone up your bicep, and people will do a bicep curl and they know that will strengthen the muscle fibers. But what I encourage people to do is think of thoughts like a bicep curl, but for your brain. And whichever thoughts you run the most, you will strengthen that pattern, whether that pattern's good or bad. So if you're constantly looking in the mirror thinking, oh God, I'm not worth it, or it's going to be too hard work, or, oh, well, I'll just have this one, I won't have another one tomorrow. Every time you do that, that's like a bicep curl, and that neurological map will get stronger and stronger and stronger. And you've got to stop those thoughts and replace them with something else. And that's really where the practical techniques come in. But a thought is a thing, and every time you have a thought, something happens in your head. So be careful what you're thinking, because you're always listening and responding to your own thoughts. There's no such thing as, oh, it was just a thought. A thought is a very powerful thing neurologically.
Yeah, absolutely. Peoni's just said thoughts become things. So
Exactly.
They do. That's where it all starts, isn't it? It all starts there. So we are out of time, but what I want to do is I'll offer the package that you were talking about before, Janet.
Yeah.
If people
Have
want
I
to,
got time to show a very quick technique?
what I'm going to do is get people to just type in yes and give us a heap of hearts. Type in yes if you would like to go in the draw for the package, the gold package for the Placebo Diet, the online package. It's actually valued at, I did a bit of a conversion off your website. It's valued at Australian AUD over $250. So it's quite a significant package. And if you want to, if watching, just type in yes. And when while people are typing in yes, if you can share this technique, and then after that, I'll do a random number generator from Google, and we will find our winner. So share with the technique. Go for it.
Okay. So this is a very quick demo of a TFT technique, which is tapping, or the original thought field therapy. And without too much preamble, this is the most important meridian on the body. And one of the reasons for that is that your body has a polarity. It has a positive and minus, just like a battery has a plus and minus. And if the battery is the wrong way up in your TV remote control, the energy flows the wrong way and you don't get the outcome you want. So your own polarity in your body is balanced between positive and negative. So if you think of the top and the bottom of your hand like a battery with a plus and a minus, and this as being the point that balances that. And you can really measure this with a voltmeter. If you think about something that you crave or someone you don't like, and you put a voltmeter on, and you'll get a negative reading. And then if you just tap the side of your hand like this, quite often that's enough in and of itself to get you out of that polarity. And when you're in a more positive flowing polarity, you're much more likely to make great positive decisions. And for even a bigger boost, so you guys can try this after the video is finished, if you tap the side of your hand here, and just for one or two breaths in or out, you might notice that you get a shift or take a breath, and then do the index finger here right on the top. These are the two meridians that run through the intestines. Then tap here under the nose. This meridian goes all the way over the head and down the back. And under the lip, this one goes down the front. So these are the central and the governing vessels. Then we go up to the lip again. And these are really good for balancing emotions and how you feel. And then you just switch hands and go down the other side. So we'll call this a triangle sequence. And that's purely because you go up one side and down the other side. So you can try out that sequence when you've got a negative thought or a negative emotion. It's always a good idea to do it before you do any visualization, to make sure that neurologically, because your brain is chemical electrical energy. So it makes sense to make sure that the electrical component of that, the energy, is flowing the right way. So that's a very, very simple, very quick. So it's side of the hand, index finger, 1, 2, 3, and down the other side. And you guys can think about something that naffs you off, tap that triangle sequence. And for many of you, I think you'll notice the difference in how you feel, even if it's just more anchored, more central, more resolved. It's a really good technique to prevent self-sabotage. So do that every morning when you're visualizing how amazing the day's going to be.
And when I'm sitting here and those chocolate frogs are tapping in me on the back of the head,
yeah,
I'll just do that, and then I'll just disappear into the bowels of the wardrobe.
Well, and there's other tapping techniques specifically for those kind of cravings, but you'll find out all that from the program. But that's a good generic one as an off-the-shelf one to have in your toolbox.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we've got 3 people who have said yes. I see we've got a couple more have just popped into the broadcast. So what I'll do is I'll just give one more a shout out that Janet has offered a gold package for the Placebo Diet, which is videos, meditation, hooking into a support group, and a toolbox to help you. I'm not explaining this very well, but toolbox to help you to master your mindset and around your lifestyle. So,
and don't forget, Adaire, as well, we're coming to Perth.
Yes, that's what I want you to do. With people who haven't typed in yes already, if you want to go in the draw, we're going to do the draw in just a few seconds. If you want to go in the draw and you haven't typed in yes in the box in the comments thread, please do it now while Janet and Bev explain what's going to happen in Perth.
Yeah, very exciting. Well, Bev can jump in as well here, but this is a 2-day course for people who work in any holistic field or profession, whether it's a fitness profession, anything holistic from reflexology to massage to anything at all, for people who want to be able to offer a comprehensive, very supportive weight loss program that actually works. So we're going to teach people some of the basic techniques that we use, some of the principles, because once you understand the principles, you can develop your own techniques. We do have a placebo coach licensing program. So if somebody wanted to be a licensed placebo coach, that's an option, but it's absolutely not obligatory. You can come and do the training anyway. And Bev, you might want to jump in as to how useful you found the training the first time you did it. And Bev now helps me run it and is a hugely valuable contributor to the program.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Tracy. And so thank you, Tracy and Shirley, to let spread it out to your networks. That's awesome. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Please do. And I used to live in Perth myself, so I'm really looking forward to coming back to Perth. But the course is going to be on the 3rd and the 4th of Feb. So not that long away, only 3 to 4 weeks away now. So if you'd like to join us, we'll put some links in and share the details underneath the comments. But the course is hugely valuable. As Janet says, it's not just for hypnotherapists, it's for anybody that works in a way that wants to help people with their health. And it will teach you numerous skills and from NLP, from TFT, giving you lots of different techniques and ways and approaches on how to help people lose so much more than just weight. Although this program is designed, the most common feedback that we get from the placebo diet is, 1, I don't even feel like I'm on a diet, and 2, that it's helped in so many other areas of their life too, because the techniques are quite universal. So whilst they might help with with craving and food associations, they can also help with lots of other areas as well. So as a therapist, it's a hugely valuable course, and it combines all aspects of weight loss. So you'll get access to to the basics of the color code system and some nutrition information, so you can really help your clients be really successful in losing weight.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. So you'll pop a link. I think we actually have got a link above. So if you have a look there's a clickable link above there, you can have a look. You can book in through the link. If it's not there, it will be there shortly after the broadcast. I did put a couple of links in to your business pages, and I know to one website, so I'm pretty sure it's in there, but we'll double check when I get off. We have 4 people lined up who would like the chance at the package. I normally share my screen, but I think my internet's going a bit slow, and in the interest of just not getting you sit there and wait, I'll call the names out, and I'll assign you a number. And then I've got my random number generator here on the other screen. I'll hit that, and then I will let you know the winner. So we've got Shirley is number 1, Theone number 2, Tracy number 3, and Katisha number 4. So hang on to your hats, people, and when we've got 300 people on the broadcast, which I'm sure we will in the next 12 months, we're going to have to look for a different way to do this. But for now, let's generate a number, and it's number 3, Tracy. And Hunt, you win the gold package. So what I'll do is I will give your, what's the best way to do this for me?
Yeah, I know. We need an email address. Yeah, we just need an email address. So if you put me address it to me or Bev in the message in the comments, as long as we've got your email address, we'll get you sorted.
Okay, so Tracy, you've got that. Congratulations, Tracy. Really, really happy for you. And to the others that were looking for going, thank you for joining us. That is really awesome. And I wish we could get Tracy's go, woohoo, party time. So without the chocolate frogs. So Tracy's saying thank you. Shirley's giving you applause and woohoo. And thank you all for joining us. And Janet and Bev, thank you so much. It's been a real eye-opener. And I've really, really enjoyed talking to you tonight. I've really enjoyed actually watching the videos on your page as well today. So I would, there we go. Tracy's got her email address right there, just in the comments. Really encourage people to hop over to Janet's and Bev's pages. The links are up here. Get to know them a bit more, like their page, send them a message, engage with them. And if you're in Perth, go along to the training, because I think, and there's Theone saying that it's good karma for sharing your Perth network to your Perth network. So, totally. So thank you so much, ladies. I really look forward to seeing you again, seeing you online. And if you ever come to Adelaide, well, I know Bev's coming to Adelaide, and I intend to catch up with you in Adelaide. And Janet, maybe we could get you to this side of town as well.
Absolutely.
Theone saying, loved listening to you both tonight, and Shirley saying thank you both. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and to us in Adelaide, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Great. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.